Welcome back to Hardball. Well, Pat Robertson endorsed Giuliani. Sam Brownback threw his weight behind Senator John McCain. And the majority founding father Paul Weyrich is backing Mitt Romney. So why are prominent Christian conservatives bypassing former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee to support a New Yorker with liberal positions on social issues, a senator who's had poor relations with evangelicals, and a Mormon who's changed his position on abortion? Republican presidential candidate Mike Huckabee is here to answer that question. Governor, thank you for joining us. What is going on? Is this the power brokering that usually goes on in these old-time smoke-filled rooms at conventions?
You know, Chris, I'm not sure what's happening with the leaders, but the good news for us is that out there in the grassroots and among the rank and file, people are with us, and it's growing every day. And we're picking up some key endorsements just today. Don Wildman of the American Family Association, we're picking them up every day. But more importantly, the endorsements of just the leaders is out there, the followers. And those are the folks who are going to be going to the caucuses on January the 3rd. And I'm more than content to let one leader go with another candidate. I just want the followers.
Well, you cracked the joke. We have to do a little lighthearted here. You cracked the joke at the expense of one of the Democratic candidates, Dennis Kucinich. We've got to use this. Let's go. Let's take a look at what you said about the Congressman Kucinich.
If we do a manned space trip to Mars, we've already got the first astronaut lined up. Dennis Kucinich is ready to go. He's already seen UFOs.
Well, you're recommending that Dennis Kucinich can be his own UFO. He can be one of the flying objects in the future. What do you think?
Well, you know, he was the one who said that he had seen a UFO, and I thought, well, if we're going to send a person to Mars, let's let somebody with some experience go. It was a good line. It was fun, and no harm intended.
Let's take a look at this. What do you think of Fred Thompson saying that you're I'm not sure what this phrase means, but here he is in a radio interview yesterday talking about you, Governor.
He's a good man, but he's a pro-life liberal. He's right on the pro-life part, but he's a liberal. You look at his taxes in the state, you look at what he said about immigration.
Are you a liberal or even a pro-life liberal? What do you think of that little handlebar he put on you, that handle he put on you?
I'll tell you, Chris, you know, I know the Writers Guild is on strike, but he really needs to get some better lines and scripts because he's only half right. Yes, I'm pro-life, but liberal? For heaven's sakes, if you said that to a lot of people in Arkansas, they'd slap their knees laughing. Look, here's the record. I believe in a secure border. I don't believe in amnesty or sanctuary cities. That's hardly weak on immigration. Now, the one area, I don't believe you punish the children for the sins or the crimes of the parents. Now, that didn't make me a liberal. It makes me a human being. And I don't think that it's a matter of, you know, having a hard line on immigration, which I do, but you don't extend the hard line to people who didn't actually break the law. That's where Fred has to be coming from. This idea of taxes, I cut 94 taxes when I was governor, the first ever tax cuts in a 160-year history of my state. It's a darn good record. And I did something that nobody else on that stage has done. I balanced a budget every one of the 10.5 years I was governor. I actually led a government. I've had more executive experience running a government than anybody running for president, Democrat or Republican.
What do you think about Giuliani Huckabee as a ticket?
Well, I don't know if I'd pick Rudy as my running mate, but I'd certainly give him a lot of consideration. You know, Pat Robertson likes him, so maybe I should love him as well. Look, let me tell you something about Rudy. One thing I like about him, and I mean this sincerely, you know where he's coming from.
Yeah.
He has the guts to go to the NRA and the guts to go to the values voters and say, look, we don't agree on some issues. I have more respect for a person who at least is who he is, rather than somebody whose message changes with every election that he's in, or somebody who, you know, you're just not sure where the center is. So Rudy and I don't agree on some issues like Second Amendment, sanctity of life, and same-sex marriage, but at least you know where he's coming from. And personally, I like him. He's a good guy, and he's somebody who is, quite frankly, pretty fun to be around.
Is Rudy for same-sex marriage? I didn't know that, Governor.
Well, I don't know if he's for, well, you know, he said that he would perform the wedding of the couple, I think, that he lived with. That's where I'm getting that. And it may not be a position that he holds to want to push, but I think he has had that expression before. But the point is, we differ on some key issues, but it doesn't mean that I have anything but respect for him, because I do.
Well, you may end up on the ticket with him one way or the other, because that ticket's going to have to be balanced. There's no way Rudy Giuliani isn't going to have to get a running mate from the Bible Belt. He has to bounce off what he's offering. That's just my assessment. It doesn't have to be yours, but it's an honor to have you on the show. Everybody likes you, Governor Huckabee. We're waiting for those poll numbers to reflect it. Everybody around here seems to like you, and we'll see what that's worth. Anyway, good luck in Iowa. That's where everybody expects you to pull the big upset and come in strong second to, or maybe first, to Romney. Anyway, thank you, Governor Huckabee, for coming on. Former Governor of Arkansas, Mike Huckabee.
Thank
Up
you,
next,
Chris.
the